Alrighty, live here for week 11 with the Windshield Deep podcast. I'm Dylan Wilson along with my co-host and friend Landon Huffman. We've been doing this for 11 weeks now. Been persistently changing stuff and trying to make things better here and there, but overall just having a good time with it. But tonight we've got a lot in store this weekend. We've got Bristol coming up, so that's big. I actually raced this past weekend, so I'll get to bitch about that a little bit, and a lot of other stuff on here. So I guess we'll start it off like we always do. Landon, how was your weekend, Mother's Day weekend?
Not terrible. I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with my mom, which is unfortunate, but I did get to spend most of Sunday with her when she got home from the beach. But over the weekend, we were at South Boston Speedway with the K&N Pro Series. I spotted for Anthony Alfredo, and we ended up picking up a win in the second event of the night. They ran twin 100s, so that was Anthony's first win, and that was my dad's first win of the season on top of the box, and it was my second win as a spotter this year, the first one coming in the ARCA series with Zane Smith. So that was pretty cool. Anthony ran a really good second race, and that team's just growing, or they're getting better, and their relationships are growing together as they go to the racetrack every weekend, and they're a lot of fun to go to the track with, and MDM as a whole is a outstanding organization, and the wins show that, and the caliber of the race cars they bring to the track every week show that. So fun group of guys to go to the racetrack, and it was overall a pretty solid weekend.
Yeah, it's cool to see Anthony get his first career win. I know he had a pretty eventful day, though. I mean, he got involved in a big Talladega-esque wreck in the first one, and then second one, he took it to him. So let's hear a little bit about that. I know since we don't talk much about things other than late model stock racing, and but this was at South Boston Speedway, like he said. So I feel like we're allowed to talk a little bit about this K&N racing because it was at a local racetrack, and we need more of that at our racetracks like Hickory, South Boston, and Motor Mile, and tracks like that to I think get some of the local short track racing fans to start pulling for these kids that they got to see race late models. Like Anthony raced at Hickory, won car tour races there, and maybe being able to see him progress, maybe that'll have him some more fans following him up as he progresses through his career. But anyway,
yeah, it's always neat to see the major touring divisions go to your local track like that. The downside to it is, places like Hickory will probably never have a touring division come back because it costs so much to bring them there. Mm-hmm. But South Boston, fortunately, can afford to do that, and their facilities are excellent, and it's been a staple in the K&N series for a number of years now. But Anthony, he learned a lot this weekend, I think. The first race, we qualified pretty good, and he fired off and was pretty aggressive at the start, and we got ourselves in a bad situation, and he ended up getting free underneath Tyler Dipple, and we spun out. And then at South Boston, it's like a mini Dover when you crash, because it's a self-cleaning racetrack, but also if you crash, there's nowhere to go because the walls are so close, especially on the front stretch. The inside wall is really close to the outside wall. Yeah. So when somebody spins out, the whole field behind us was double file, and they piled into it, and it was a huge red flag. There was like 7 cars involved, and it destroyed our car. So fortunately, when they do the twin deal with K&N series, you're allowed to go to a backup for the second race. Well, they started the second race. The starting lineup for the second race was determined by your fastest lap in the first race. Well, in 20 laps, we set the fastest lap, so we started on the pole in a backup car, but because we were in a backup car, they sent us to the rear, so we actually started dead last. And Anthony learned from that first incident in race 1, and he was really patient in the second race, and we moved into second with like 12 laps to go, and we were 4.5 seconds back, and we ran the leader all the way down and passed him on the final lap. So that was pretty insane. I don't think I've ever seen a closing rate like that happen that quickly in a race, especially a gap that large. It was pretty crazy, but he did an excellent job, and they got into it. They got together a little bit on the last lap, but it was a good hard racing, and Anthony was able to bring home his first win, so that was pretty cool. So
you had a pretty successful weekend on the spotter stand, and I myself got to race at Hickory for my, that would be my 4th race of the year in limited late models, and We've had a very unfortunate season so far. We've had, we've had some ups, but, first week we had lead go through my face. Second week, finished second, got tight. Third week, we had fuel problems, and this week I just got taken out. There's really no way around it. I'm not going to sit on here and bitch about it. I just shouldn't have been in that situation. My car should be good enough to where I shouldn't be racing with people that race like that. So, that's I don't even know who it was really or anything like that. So, it is what it is. That's part of short track racing. I just got jacked up going into one, and I guess he never really lifted until he went through my radiator after he spun me out. So, if you don't wreck somebody, at least do it right. Don't tear your shit up in the process. But whatever. It is what it is. We had a pretty exciting weekend because of that. But there's only so much you can do nowadays, and I guess it's part of being a co-host of the Windshield Deep podcast. You get windshield deep sometimes, and you get Lassarded sometimes. That's just part of it. But either way, it was fun. We had a good. Well, actually, I had bad feedback. I told my guys I just over-adjusted too much. It was so hot and greasy out early in the day. I wanted it tightened up, and just dialed myself right out of it and made it tight. But my experience at the track has, it sounds weird saying I'm experienced now, but not many guys there have much experience anymore. So I'm able to manipulate the car a little bit, especially, on a long run, and on a very, very short run. But, that 10, 15 lap run, we would just lose everything I gained. We had really good restarts all night, and, it's just part of racing. But, yeah, we eventually just got taken out, but we was racing for third. Got to race with a friend, Pat Rachel's, a lot, which was fun. A couple young guys were racing up front, Lee Faulkcar and Gage Painter, who are two young. I think Gage is 12, so that's pretty. He's a really good racing 12-year-old. So you'll hear that name a lot in the next few years for sure. And the other one, I believe his last name's Gray. I think his older brother races, I believe, in late models, and this is the younger brother or something. I'm not 100% sure, but Lee Faulkcar. So good equipment, good driver. They raced the hell out of each other. I thought they was gonna wreck each other several times, and I was just gonna fall into a win. So that's kind of what I was doing until
Tanner Gray is the older brother. Is that not? Who's the guy who drag races?
No idea.
Is there not a Tanner Gray that drag races? Yes, there is. There's a something Gray. And
possibly, man. I don't know.
I'm almost positive it's the same kid, but I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a Tanner Gray that drag races. He used to race asphalt racing, and then now he drag races. But I feel like that's that family, but maybe I'm completely wrong. But someone was talking about that while we were in South Boston, and I think that's the same kid.
Well, regardless, so he, the younger brother won. One of the Gray, I think they're brothers. I don't know them very well, but like I said, there's different people every week. It's not like I'm oblivious to knowing them or anything. But anyway, so he won. I finished. I got dumped, and when he dumped me, he hit my nose too, which took my chances away. I wasn't gonna go back out there and race against any people like that. So I wasn't gonna tear my shit up. I'll just go back and worry about it next week and handle my business then. Do it the right way. Just go beat them. But
we do have confirmation. I was correct. It is Tanner that races pro stock in NHRA, and he does now race at late models at Hickory.
Okay,
I thought he ran some asphalt races before too, but that's pretty cool to see him go back and forth from the NHRA side to a NASCAR local track deal. So that's
everybody's
neat.
Better than anybody down the straightaways. But
restarts, they ought to be hellacious.
They both ran really good though. I think they both was up front all night. So in their respective divisions. So that's cool.
This weekend sucked for you, unfortunately. But the good thing is
it sucked, but we learned a lot.
The good thing is we get to go back this weekend, and I might make a unusual appearance this weekend.
Yeah.
At Hickory, if all goes well, and if we get to go test.
And if it doesn't rain. We got a bad forecast, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna think that we're racing, and hopefully you get a chance to go test, and maybe I can go test too and fix my stuff. And
we haven't raced since Tri-County, and that we tore it up there in the limited deal. I ran my car in the limited race, so if we can go test Hickory, and I feel like I'm, comfortable with where we're at, then we'll try to go make an appearance at Hickory Saturday night. So that's the plan for the weekend. Moving on from that, the verdict on Brandon Setzer was finally announced from the Cars Tour, and too much disapproval, which we felt like
we thought they retracted
last
it
episode
because they deleted it.
When we were talking about it, they deleted the post. So at that point, we weren't sure what was going to happen. We initially thought that they may rethink the decision, but then the owner of the Cars Tour made a post the next day, Jack, and he stated that it was his decision to suspend Brandon, and he felt like that was the right decision, and they were going to stand by it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I mean, I think that their deal is with that is, although none of us agree with it. I mean, I can say that if you agree with Brandon Setzer being suspended, then we probably don't agree as human beings in general. But the only thing is, man, is they did the same. They're just trying to be consistent with the Jake Crum deal, and I can understand that. I'm not going to say, I would much rather him not be suspended, and hopefully they get it appealed and all that. But at the end of the day, I guess their reasoning, this is me speaking on behalf of them, is that they're, I guess, trying to be consistent with that. I feel like there's a lot of people that can make a case of why they shouldn't be consistent as far as that goes. But the thing is fans bitch about wanting consistency all the time, and why don't you do this the same way every time? But then somebody like this, gets in that situation and they back off a little bit. So it's so hard to do it either way. Obviously, we want Brandon racing in the Cars Tour. We want him racing at Bristol this weekend, but clearly, that's not going to happen with the circumstances that they're under. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, what do y'all think? Y'all are the ones, all sorts of people post about it. I mean, I've seen people put some death threats out there, and some people, there's a lot of crazy shit going on. I mean, that's a little, crazy,
I'm all for consistency, for the most part, but in this situation, I feel like, the incident needs to be reviewed in a different light, which, as, like you said, a lot of people have said that, and, at this point, I don't think they're going to change their mind. There is an appeal process, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm not really exactly sure how all that works, so I know Brandon and Dennis have filed for an appeal, so we'll see what happens with that. Unfortunately, until then, Brandon won't be on the racetrack in a Cars Tour event, but that does not mean he can't go race pass or a CRA sanctioned event or any of that stuff. Yeah. So Brandon, I'm sure Brandon will be on the racetrack. I just seen him in South Boston this weekend. He actually helped Spencer Davis on the 82 K&N car. He works on that car. He has pretty much every weekend that they've raced. So we're looking forward to seeing Brandon back on the racetrack. And, hopefully that appeal deal makes a difference. And if it doesn't, then we'll just move forward. And I really just hope it doesn't hurt the tour.
Yeah.
As a whole, because right now that's one of the greatest things for short track racing. Absolutely. And I'm sure everyone will agree with that. I mean, anytime you have a touring division like the Cars Tour that's able to bring the amount of the car counts that they do to the racetrack and fill the stands like they do, it's going to be unfortunate if it does end up hurting them. So,
yep. Yeah, Nick said, hope to see y'all in Bristol, and y'all better have your free Brandon shirts on. I'll be, I don't know if I'll be there or not. I'll definitely have a One Designs wrap shirts on, helping my One Designs guys out, but I'll be, I might have a tattoo on my ass or something that says free Brandon, so maybe we'll pop it out then sometime or another, but
I won't be there.
Yeah, I wish I don't know if I'm going to be able to go or not. Clearly, it just depends on the weather. If it rains Hickory out, we may be able to swing that, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Anytime there's rain in the vicinity, it finds Bristol Motor Speedway. Yep. So if there is rain, you guys better be planning on staying until about 4 in the morning.
Well, see, it'd be a perfect time for some dome racing, some under-the-roof racing. So they could fly in a, some kind of football stadium roof and see how that works. But yeah, so that's Bristol. Speaking of Bristol, the Cars Tour is racing there this weekend. We're going to make picks later on. But, yeah, Cars Tour, if you guys don't know, the Cars Tour is racing there this weekend, which, unless you're living under a rock, you should know that. And we've got a big entry list. And the thing is, if they're racing not only the Cars Tour, I mean, you've got the late model stock, super late models, four bangers, or four cylinders. And there's 96 four cylinders entered, by the way. I don't know if you know that or not. 73 CRA street stocks. 32 supers and 35 pro late models, and 28 late model stocks. One thing that we noticed was there's 0 4-cylinders from North Carolina going. Not one North Carolina 4-cylinder. Now that's what, as far as where it says on their location on speed51.com.
Wonder if that's because of rules.
Yeah, we was thinking it's probably just a rule thing. There must be some kind of deal.
Those
going
are like
on.
real. I feel like those are more geared towards a pro mini stock, not the type of 4-cylinder that we have, which is, I feel like, a little more advanced.
Yeah. 73 street stocks entered, and 3 of them from North Carolina. One being Kevin Eby, who's won several Hickory track championships, still races at Hickory now. Also Larry Eisenhower from Greensboro and Jason Leatherwood from Waynesville. So a lot of 3 North Carolina guys, which must be another rules deal. I mean, being that there's 73 entered, you would think there'd be, but who knows? I mean, there's probably a lot of Keen Sport street stocks and a lot of local guys that are just going to kind of take that over, which I would be kind of, it's hard to take a street stock from, North Carolina all the way to, Tennessee to run to Bristol. I mean, these guys aren't racing with much budget at all. So
I know when the Kimmel deal was around, which they still might be. I don't think they are.
Anymore.
Frank Kimmel had a street stock tour, and they went to Bristol, and I remember Dan Moore took his street stock up there and finished second. Or he might have won. He either won or finished second. But those street stocks were those were the real deal.
Man, I would like to. I would have liked to. I hate that. I wouldn't really. When short track racing was in its 2000s prime. I'm not saying that it was the best ever. I'm just saying when it was like 2005 and the UARA was big and he was racing at Bristol and Matt McCall was running and Jake Crum was winning at Bristol and Martinsville, all this stuff. So.
Brandon Ward won.
I wish I could have seen that firsthand. Brandon Ward T-shirt on right there in the Supply One car.
Pretty sure he won like the 2006 UARE championship, somewhere around there, 05, 06, something like that. Because he went straight from there and drove for Humphreys, which is the shirt I have on. My dad crew chiefed that deal. Yeah. So those are some good times.
Well, not to mention, we also have 32 supers and 35 pro late models. Pro late models, there's only 1 from North Carolina.
And I don't know, I didn't see, Cars Tour did not post an entry list for the super late models on their website, so that tells me that.
Oh, I've got it right here. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
I know we have one. I was just saying, I think that tells me that it's a CRA headed series. I think the Cars Tour's name's just on it. Kind of like the deal that was at Nashville.
But not to mention, in the supers, there's some big guys. Steve Wallace, Stephen Nassy. So there's 2 big ones to watch. Raphael Lessard will also be there. Preston Peltier, Tyler Ankrum, Jared Fryer, Mason Mingus, Jake Crum.
Oh,
I mean, there's a lot of damn
Mingus and Steve-O.
Oh man, Mingus and Steve-O.
Remember what happened last time they were on the track together?
Wallace, Nassy, Lessard, Jake Crum, Mingus. I mean, damn.
Last time it didn't end well.
This ought to be good. I mean, this ought to be a hellacious super race again. I mean, there's a lot of big guys. A lot of big guys going. And that's just some of the big names. I mean, there's a lot of other guys racing that are, very respectable talent. I mean, Spencer Davis is racing. I said
whose car he's in.
There's all sorts of people. But, yeah, that's going to be big. The super late model racing ought to be huge. I'm sure there will be some cautions in that one. Bubba dominated that last year, though. That was pretty.
Last year they raced at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
No, it wasn't that late.
It was like, I mean, it may not have been that late, but I'm pretty sure they ended at like 2 o'clock or something.
Really?
Or 3, something like that, because it rained and then it took them forever to get it going. But hopefully that doesn't happen this weekend.
Someone asked here, doesn't ARCA have a super late model touring series? Yeah, I think they co-sanctioned with it's ARCA CRA.
That's what it's called.
Which is north. It's like kind of a northwestern series. They're not really northwestern. They race a lot up at.
They're co-sanctioned with the Cars Tour too.
Yeah, well, that's it's a big co-sanctioned race this week. It's the Cars Tour, Southern Super Series, and the CRA.
Same thing when they go to Anderson.
So yes, ARCA does own the CRA deal, which
now NASCAR. I
wonder how that works. So I guess NASCAR now owns the CRA too. Well,
yeah, I guess so. Which I wonder if that's going to be interesting because NASCAR used to have a super late model tour. It was called like the I don't remember what it was called.
I wonder how that all works out.
Their NASCAR used to have a Super Late Model Tour.
So yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of cars entered. I'm really excited to see this 4-cylinder race. 96 4-cylinders entered to race at Bristol.
Speaking of 4-cylinders, we've seen the craziest wreck
Carolina Custom Golf Carts 4-cylinder
in a long time.
Rookie Allison Houston. Well, I guess kind of rookie.
She raced all year last year.
Not the whole year, but anyway, she put her on the lid at Hickory. That's the first time I've seen one on the lid at Hickory in person. So that was crazy. I'm glad she was all right. Actually, I think I don't know the story. I just know that she got into someone on the back stretch, or someone got into her, and she just went to flipping down the back stretch. Only split one time and slid all the way to turn 3. And I ran. I was actually going to the bathroom, and I heard it. I heard the flip. I was like, "Damn, that don't sound good." So I just started running, and she's already out. I mean, she had to.
Oh yeah, I'd got out of that thing too if it flipped.
Yeah.
Especially one of them things.
Yeah,
I don't even know nothing about that. They look weird when the body's off of them. It's offset and
it's like a weird super late model.
Just a little box around you, yeah.
But that's I'm glad to see she's okay. She was willing it. She was actually I was passing for second, I believe, to get to that point. So,
God, they would have had to have hit her just right to roll her.
Yeah, I still don't know. I guess we could probably find the video from the Stearns family and check that out eventually. But I didn't, like I said, I didn't see the flip, but evidently he just caught her just right and got right underneath her right rear or something and just tumbled right over and slid for a while. So clearly she was up to speed when she flipped, because she slid all the way down the back stretch.
Yeah, without seeing the video, the only thing that I can imagine happening is just she's going by and somebody gets free or something and like just clips her as she's like coming by. Like
she got right hooked. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Okay, so like maybe they just. I mean, anytime you're running at a strong rate of speed, and if you get clipped and you rotate,
had to get up under automatically right wheel,
then it's gonna just catch and roll. Yeah. I don't know. Those things don't weigh anything either. So
who knows? But yeah, she was okay though. So glad the Carolina Custom Golf Carts 4-cylinder was. She was on the lid, but we're glad she's all right, and I'm sure she'll be back this weekend if it don't rain us out. But yeah, so a big flip this weekend. I got dumped. There's a big Bristol race coming up. Landon got a win in the K&N series spotting.
We talked a little bit about weather. The weather's going to be, hopefully it's not going to be good this weekend. We're not going to talk any more about it, but the weather does not look good for this weekend at Hickory. Hopefully it holds off so we can go race. But another topic that just actually announced today, a couple hours before, is the new NASCAR Next class, and Anthony Alfredo is a part of that. Zane Smith is also a part of that. So two drivers that I've been fortunate enough to spot for this year, and Tanner Thorson. I'm trying to think. Ryan Vargas. There's a couple other K&N series drivers mixed in between.
You lost me at Alfredo.
Chase Purdy.
Oh, I know him.
A couple other. But anyways, put all that aside. We are going to do our own version of NASCAR Next short track style.
Yeah, the short track version of NASCAR Next. So
sorry, Dexter Wayne Cannot. You do not qualify for the NASCAR Next program. Dexter. You're too old.
Too old. You're past, I guess the age limit here is
about 25 maybe.
Yeah, 25. So we're going to pick a few guys. And if you guys have any suggestions who you think, go ahead and, for the live stream viewing people, go ahead and send in who you think should be, who's your NASCAR Next group.
Do you have, we're going to do 5.
I'll let you name some of yours. I need a pen. I need to write some of them down.
My 5, I think they do 9 in the class for regular NASCAR Next. But for our short track version and for us doing this off the top of our heads about 5 minutes ago, and Dylan's actually writing his down now, my 5 people are going to be, starting off, Ryan Millington. He's last year's track champion at Hickory. He's just now starting to run some Cars Tour races. He's really young. How old is Ryan now? Like 16? 16 or 17?
He's 16.
16? So he's really young.
He was not going to come on the podcast tonight, but he's when you're big time auto racing like he is, you really have a lot of plans. I think he had some plans tonight, so he couldn't come. But anyway, he's going to be on soon.
So I got Ryan Millington. Justin Carroll is going to be my second pick. Justin is somebody who works on his own stuff, knows a lot about the race car. I feel like he is someone who's primed to be able to take that next step if money were to come his way. He just swept Hickory last weekend. He won the throwback race last year at Hickory, so he's starting to pile up some wins, and I think Justin is somebody who could take that next step. So he's going to be on my list. Brandon Setzer is going to be on my list because I feel like he's someone who, if they got that opportunity, he could really excel at the next level. Then my final two are going to be two young kids who I think have a lot of promise, and they're surrounded by really good people. One being Ty Gibbs. And obviously he's got the family pedigree.
Got a good name.
Yeah, and a lot of really good equipment surrounding him. So I think he's got some good chances of making some noise at the next level. And then my last one's going to be Lane Riggs. And I think Lane, him and his dad do everything themselves, and they do have some pretty good help at the local level. But I think Lane's only 15 or 16 right now too. So
yeah, he's pretty young.
I think after this year in the Cars Tour, I feel like you could see him moving up the ladder in some form or fashion also.
Yeah, so we're pretty close. I mean, is this late model stocks and supers, or they've got to run late models?
It can be anything.
Okay,
I just did late models.
I had Justin Carroll pretty high on the list, being that he's a smart. I think he can go and be a crew chief or a driver. So, but since you posted him, we'll try to mix it up a little bit. But I also had Ryan Millington. I'm definitely stick with that. I think he's a guy that could that'll excel and eventually get some opportunities from big teams, and I think he'll do really well with that. I think another one is Chandler Smith. I thought he did really good at Hickory. I haven't got to watch him much, but I think he did really well. I think he'll be a threat over the next few years, and obviously he's not going to be racing late models long, but I think for the next year or two that he is racing them, he's going to win a lot of them.
Wouldn't be surprised if he won some ARC races this year.
Yeah. Another one that I think is going to eventually catch some fire is Ryan Repko. I think he's a good driver and has good people around him as well. He runs up with Reynolds Racing Chassis. I think he's going to win a lot of late model stock races over his career.
He's running some ARCA races this year too for Mason Mitchell.
Yeah, and the other one, Sam Mayer. I think that's a good guy to watch out for. He's obviously, got some good people behind him as well. And another one that you can't really go wrong with is Ty Gibbs. So that was another NASCAR next guy, or short track next, I guess you could call it.
We ought to post I wonder what NASCAR would think if we posted if you did a graphic and posted Windshield Deep short track next.
I think we could do that.
I feel like that'd be okay.
Yeah, we post our own.
We might have to do that.
Yeah, just work on it a little bit.
It'd be neat.
Yeah, I think that would be neat. So that's our short track next, guys. I mean, if anybody has any people we missed, I mean, obviously this is more East Coast guys and Cars Tour guys, but
we're a lot of our opinions are also coming from people that we've been around or raced against.
100%.
So
I mean,
we may not know a lot of those people up north or maybe
west,
out west.
I mean, there's people everywhere that. But this is from a southeastern guy's perspective. This is who we think is on top of the game, right, or has a chance to be next, as far as maybe the next Lee Pulliam or Philip Morris or anybody like that. But they also have a very good chance of moving up into NASCAR. So anyway you look at it, they've got a good chance ahead of them. So
I think now's a pretty good time to take our break.
Yeah.
So real quick before we jump to a break, don't go away. Stay tuned because we do have a giveaway that we're going to announce some details about that's going to take place on our Facebook page. We've got a hat signed by Doug Yates and Robert Yates, and we also have a vintage North Wilkesboro Richard Petty. What is it? How do they phrase it?
It's actually, I think it's
his fan appreciation tour diecast from North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, they just kind of made it, I guess.
They released 29 of them, one for each track that they ran at, I believe, but or each race that they went to. But that's the Richard Petty North Wilkesboro Fan Appreciation Tour version, 164 scale diecast. So we're going to do that, and we got to thank our sponsors real quick. Big thank you to Carolina Simworks, who's Casey is in the chat right now, so give him a shout out, give him some love.
Yeah.
He said he's doing.
God, made some nice reds lately. I've been really watching them things. They're really, really, really cool.
Yeah, he said
really
he was
good.
making one for Tanner Gray, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, perfect.
We were talking about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Fox Outdoor, as always. Dexter's Detailing. We just picked him up last week.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big one. And Blondie's Restaurant as usual. And then One Designs Wraps and Carolina Custom Golf Carts. Okay. So
I'm going to go to break right now. I actually have this cool little video that I put together for Over Mother's Day weekend, I went back to North Wilkesboro Speedway. Well, in the general vicinity, right beside it, 200 yards from it. That's where I grew up. So I kind of had my girlfriend video me a little bit while I drove around and showed everybody around the deal there. So yeah, so just watch this real quick, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, everybody, I'm Dylan Wilson here with Windshield Deep, and today it is Mother's Day, and since we have an episode this week, I figured it'd be cool to show you around where I'm from a little bit. So we're in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina right now, and as you can see, right here is the racetrack of days past. North Wilkesboro Speedway. I guess I'll kind of show you around a little bit. Now, I've always told people that I'm literally right beside, like where I grew up is right beside the racetrack. I mean, that's North Wilkesboro, and if you look down here, these houses are all my family members. Like, we're all from right here, so it's pretty neat. I'm gonna take you for a little tour of where I got my first racing experience at. Everybody around here is either family or really close family friends, so you know, it's just pretty cool how everybody's so close. But this also used to be a Winston Cup shop back in the day when my grandpa raced there, or racing the Cup Series. So you can tell it used to be a shop. This is my great-grandmother's house. My great-grandfather actually built the racetrack, so a lot of history back in those days, but I guess where I got my start at really is down here. I mean, obviously the racetrack closed the year I was born, so I never got to see any racing there until the UARA series or the past series came there. But this is my grandpa's current shop that my cousin races out of. So he used to do cup racing and dash racing out of there as well. And the racetrack again is right there. So this is actually where all my beginnings began, I guess you could say. This is Third Turn Speedway. This is my grandpa's racetrack. We used to do rental kart races and dirt track racing here. We turned right on this track. It was actually the way the yard carts were set up. The motors were on the left side, so we had to kind of reverse it. So the track, they raced here way before I was even born, but after it was kind of closed down from weekly racing stuff, I would come down here and play around with my cousin, and we would just race whatever the hell we could get our hands on. So it's a concrete 1/40th of a mile track. Really small, but it's the jungle now. We've got big plans for it. Maybe we can do some kind of big Windshield Deep charity race here or something one day. We just got to get some stuff together, but yeah, this is pretty much where I got my start at. It's all one big area. Like I said, every house you see here, we know exactly who they are. It's pretty cool because I grew up in that single wide trailer right there, directly across from this racetrack. That's where I was born and raised at for not a very long time, but I lived there for a while, and that's my grandfather's previous house. Now a good close family friend lives there. But you know, just it's cool coming back here. But I hate seeing it turn into a jungle, but there's nothing to do here with me living in Hickory. So maybe we need to kind of team up and do something soon. But yeah, that's when I say I'm from Wilkes Speedway. Basically, I'm not lying. I mean, this is where I grew up at. Literally lived in that single wide trailer right beside the racetrack here, right across from the go-kart track that I started on. So yeah, I guess that's a little tour of my Mother's Day weekend. Maybe we're probably on break right now, or I just posted this on social media, but either way, it's good seeing everybody, or talking to everybody. We'll see you Tuesday night at 8:30.
The bottom lane one trying to use the momentum of the high lane. Dylan Wilson gets his nose out front. Gregory's not ready to give it up just yet. Now he'll backpedal up.
Late model feature, and it was a good one. Dylan Wilson works his way by the 21 of Monty Cox, and then he holds him off.
I wouldn't want it to end any other way, but that was just awesome side-by-side racing. It's just classic Hickory for you.
I don't want to say anything out of my place here, but you can't expect much from people that run 18-second laps. But, you know, they just stopped right here. I'm not sure what was going on.
And on the outside, working both sides of the street, coming through turn 4 to pick up his first ever late model stock car win at Hickory Motor Speedway.
You know, we fought hard and was patient, and luck was on our side tonight. We caught the cautions right. A couple of them got sent to the back, and I put this beast in victory lane, man. I couldn't be more happy for all my guys. And
real quick, where can they hear you talk about this race later on this week?
Tuesday night, 8:30, Windshield Deep podcast on Facebook. We'll be talking all about it, and I'll probably be whining a little bit, but I'll still be promoting the short track racing industry. So tune in, and y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, back here after a quick little break. Glad you, or hope anybody enjoyed the little snippet of me at Wilkesboro on Mother's Day. You know, that is obviously where I grew up. You know, for anybody that watched that. I guess I lived there as an infant for about 3 months, but you know, my grandparents still live there and always have lived there, so I pretty much, you know, spent all my summers there and most there for a while. That racetrack at the bottom, the go-kart track, my parents actually ran as a rental kart track, and I got to go there and race the Thursday Night Thunders and got to kick some old 40-year-old drunk guy's ass while I was about 10. So, you know, that was cool, and I learned a lot about
getting it done.
Learned a lot about how to race, and actually not really. I just learned how to, you know, you can't tell who's who there, you know, because they changed so much, and you don't wear helmets or nothing. So I just hit them all, you know. But anyway, yeah. So we had a lot to talk about so far, but I think now is the moment that we enjoy the most, and that's making our car tour picks for Bristol. And we have a full entry list, and like I said, there's 32 supers, 28 late models, and every time the car tour races, we pick our winner for late models and super late models. And our dark horses. As of now, like I said, there's 32 and 28, 32 supers, 28 late models, and I'll start this off because Landon hasn't been studying, clearly. I watched the last year's Bristol race earlier today just to check it out, but yeah, my winner of the Cars Tour late model stock portion of the event. Are you ready? Drum roll. It's it's far out there. Josh Berry. I picked him a lot, but Josh had bad luck there last year, and he was, I believe he was fastest in practice. So he was fastest in practice the other day. He had issues last year, but I mean, you can't not pull for the guy. or not think he's going to at least win the race. So, yeah, Josh Berry's my pick to win. And about you, Lenny, you got a pick to win yet in late model stocks?
My pick to win for late model deal is going to be, this is a real sleeper right here, Lee Pulliam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really took a bite off the...
Yeah, I felt like going out on a limb on this one, but my dark horse is going to be... Did you say dark horse already?
No.
I'll go ahead and lead into this. So my dark horse is going to be somebody who was second on the board in practice.
Son of a bitch.
Second on the board,
See,
yeah.
I'm not changing mine.
You take Barry, so I had to take somebody else. So second on the board in practice this past weekend. It's going to be another junior motorsports car. My dark horse is going to be Sam Meyer. I think he's going to be really good. I think this is a place where Josh is going to be able to help him out, and I think the equipment's going to show up a little bit more at a place like this. So I think Sam's going to have a really good shot at pulling an upset.
And Sam's been running very consistent all year. Hasn't really made headlines or anything, but he's been running up front and consistently every week, so that's cool to see. My dark horse for this Cars Tour event, late model stock, is, and I guess you can kind of, this is an on-the-fence dark horse, but he hasn't raced much this year. Been injured. Lane Riggs had a rough night at Hickory, or not a rough night. He just burned his stuff off, is what he said. Didn't have nothing at the end. But, yeah, Lane Riggs is my dark horse. He ran very well there last year. So, Josh Berry and Lane Riggs are my two picks. I feel like I'm pretty confident. I mean, you got Lee Pulliam and Sam Mayer. So, you got two good options there, too. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can get much better picks. Is anybody, are we missing anybody here? Who else is going to be up front? Is Chris Van Dyke racing?
I don't think so. Hold on. No, he's not. Quick disclaimer here. On the super late model entry list, did you catch who the last name on this list is?
Mike Skinner?
Jeff Gordon.
No.
There's no way it's the same Jeff Gordon.
It's the same Jeff Gordon.
But this dude, his racing career has no... Okay, I'm not going to say that. He might have a chance to make it, but I mean, his chances of making it are extremely hurt because his name is Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
But I kind of hope that is Jeff Gordon.
My name's Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
That's crazy. Yeah, so...
Jeff Gordon. I didn't even know there was another Jeff Gordon that races. I mean, that's kind of cool. It says he's from Largo, Florida.
That's crazy.
So
Jeff Gordon from Florida.
Jeff Gordon, another Jeff Gordon.
Another guy we didn't mention as far as the late model stock racing, last year's winner, Mike Snyder, won the late model race last year, so I guess he's, I'm not sure if he's running or not.
Yeah, he is. He's in it.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Truck
another cool thing about, well, actually, this is pro late models, but Mike Skinner's running.
He ran at, he ran New Smyrna when they did the Speed Weeks. Him and Cole Anderson, I believe, drove one of Skinner's cars, and Cole won like 3 nights of the 7. So that was pretty cool.
You know, another guy that's going to be good in the late models is going to be Ty Gibbs. I think that's another good dark horse pick. So
Bobby McCarty, I'm sure,
being
will be
that
good.
Sports betting is now legal in America.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I think we can start a little. How about that? That's something we might ought to do. There's DraftKings for Cup. Why can't we start our own Windshield Deep DraftKings for maybe get a little money involved in this and do some short track racing DraftKings? I'm not sure of the legality of that, but I mean, it can't be that much.
Maybe we could make a post on our page and see if there's any interest. And if we get like...
Or what if there's like a short track racing betting system in general? That would be cool. Not like a Pete Rose way. Just like a damn, something cool. Like to watch a big short track, like the Snowball Derby. People could sort of draft a lineup just like DraftKings. And I don't know, that'd be cool. Maybe we have to look into that, see how much. If
anybody knows how to develop an app, hit us up.
There's some kind of. I'm sure there's an app to develop an app. but yeah, so on to supers. Super late model.
I'm gonna say my win first, since you did.
Yeah, go ahead.
Then you can get your win and your dark horse. So my win's gonna be Steve Wallace. I feel like he's due a win. He ain't won anything this year, and he got in that tangle at Nashville with Mason Mingus, and I believe he under the table got suspended for a few races. I'm not sure, because the car store kind of said that they did have a hand in that also, but nothing was announced. So I'm almost sure that that could have happened. But he's back, and I feel like Steve's, like I said, he's due a win, so he's going to be my pick to win. So who you got?
I'm gonna have to go with. Man, this is tough, but I've been on the fence all day. But I'm gonna go with Jake Crum, man. The guy's won a late model stock race there before. He's fast everywhere he goes. He's from Taylorsville, so I'm gonna pull for him, man. He's gonna be. He's got the experience of, I'm sure he's raced several truck and Xfinity races there. Not to mention, he's, like I said, he won the late model stock race there in the UARA series. So Jake Crum's won a lot of shit at bigger tracks and short track racing cars. So
he's my dark horse.
Well, he's a damn dark horse.
Yes, he is. He hasn't won anything in 2 years. He's definitely a dark horse.
Just because he. No, that's
okay.
Not,
so you think it? I mean, well, that's a terrible analogy. Never mind. I was going to say, so you think Morgan Shepherd's a front runner every week, but that's not the same at all. Morgan hadn't won in 50 years. Jake is definitely capable of winning, but I feel like he's a dark horse. He's not driving for Fathead, I don't think. I think he's driving his own stuff.
He's driving his own stuff, but, I mean, it's Jason Stanley's, helps him. So,
I know.
It's not like he's...
I just feel like he's a dark horse because I don't think anybody's really looking at him besides you.
I think it's kind of an insult that he's a dark horse, to be honest with you.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, my dark horse and... Who's your winner? Who's your winner? Jeff Gordon? The real, not that Jeff
No, I already
Gordon,
told you my winner. Steve Wallace.
Oh, that's right.
Jeff Gordon's my dark horse.
Okay. Well, my dark horse is Tyler Ankrum because
I didn't even see him on the list.
He ran good there last year in Bristol. Got used up. I remember, I can't remember by who, but Tyler Ankrum ran good there last year, and I think that Clay Rogers has a good package for him. So does Blake. So I'm looking forward to seeing them run good. So, yeah, Crum and Ankrum, one of them two win. Then I'll put some more padding under my points lead. And Landon will...
Here, I got another dark
Lee
horse.
Pulliam as his dark horse.
Spencer Davis is my dark horse.
Okay, that's more like it. I mean, I guess you can say Lane Ridge isn't necessarily a hardcore dark horse, so I'll give you a pass on picking a Truck Series driver as your dark horse. I'm just messing with you. Either way, there's really not many dark horses in the damn thing that have a chance to win.
You tell me when Spencer Davis won last, and then we'll talk about it.
I mean, I don't think he's ever won. But
he has won, but it's been Acadian, I believe. It's been a while.
I thought you were talking about truck. He about won Martinsville, right? Was that him driving that thing?
No.
Who was driving the DGR car?
Kyle Benjamin.
Oh, that's right. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway.
Spencer does drive for KBN, though.
Let's do some power rankings. So, your picks to win late models, you've got Lee Pulliam, and your dark horse was, who's your dark, who was your dark horse? Sam Mayer?
Yeah.
Lee Pulliam and Sam Mayer. Mine's Josh Berry and Lane Riggs. And then your super late model pick to win was Steve Wallace. Dark horse, Spencer Davis. My pick to win is Jake Crum. My dark horse. Huh?
Nothing.
My dark horse is Tyler Ankrum. So, either way, I think that all of us, man, just bounced through the mic off the stand here. Sorry for any podcast listeners who just got their ears blown up.
Sorry, this is another new setup. It's like our fifth one.
We just reversed the bar here.
We got tired of
how do you like the neon Miller Lite sign in the background? The Rusty Wallace classic sign. You know, I don't know if we should be promoting a beer company, but I feel that it goes along with racing because Miller Lite's been on a cup car since probably what, 87? No,
a long time.
92 or something like that. So, yeah, so Miller Lite.
Miller has been anyway.
It's been
longer than that. Miller has been.
Yeah, so we do have we've got questions later, but we want to do some power rankings for the Cars Tour first. This week we're going to do late models. Next week we're going to do super late models. We have kind of had a joint power rankings deal. I feel like we've pretty much agreed on it to this point. But we're going to start from 5 to 1. And fifth place on the current power rankings for us in the Cars Tour late model stock division is Sam Mayer, because he's currently about I think 6th in points, so he's up there in points. He's been consistent all year. I think he's building up his confidence, building up his speed. I'm a Sam Mayer believer. I think he's going to be really good throughout the year and be contending for wins.
He had one bad weekend, which was Myrtle Beach, but he ran really good at Tri-County. Was solid at Hickory. And
saved tires, running in the back, and saved a good amount of tires, so that was cool.
So without Myrtle Beach, I think Sam would be up there in points a lot farther. So definitely think that he's one to watch out for moving forward.
And fourth on the list for us is Deek McCaskill, because he's won a race this year already in his machine. He's not running the whole year, but I think just genuine power. I mean, if we're talking power rankings, who has the best chance to win every week? Our top, Deek McCaskill's got to be in the conversation. We got him fourth. Before we get to the top three, which is going to be the most debatable three, I'll give an honorable mention to Tommy Lemons Jr., who doesn't run them all either, but he's also a good threat. But
he hasn't ran that great this year, but
yeah. But I mean, either way,
everybody has downs.
He's going to be a threat eventually. In the number 3 spot. And the only reason he's in number 3 is because he missed a race. And that's Josh Berry. We got Josh Berry as the number 3 in power rankings. And like I said, because he missed a race, he hasn't been dominant yet.
Not yet. It's kind of surprising. I feel like
he hasn't won a race this year yet.
I feel like the competition has stepped up a little bit, to be completely honest with you. Not that, I really think, I think
what
Josh
the hell,
is going to win this
You've
year.
only swept one weekend this year. What's your problem?
What's going on, man?
What's the deal?
I think this is something's wrong.
No, he's clearly, before long, he'll be on top, but just because he hasn't raced them all is the only reason.
Yeah, I do think the competition has gotten a little better. I mean, absolutely has. You got
Lee Pulliam
coming in second on our list, defending national champion. Lee Pulliam, he hasn't won a race yet. He hasn't won
Myrtle Beach.
Oh, yeah, he won Myrtle Beach.
Won Myrtle Beach. So
that's like the only race I didn't really pay attention to.
Yeah, that one shot him to the top and had like we talked about last week, had just to put on a show as far as saving tires at Hickory, which was, blew all of our minds and made you $10 more poor.
Yeah, so, Eric, I lost $10 to Eric on that one. I thought Lee was just struggling.
Yeah.
Till about 50 to go.
So, number 1 on our power rankings for the Cars Tour late model stocks, and I feel like this is going to be pretty undebatable, being that he has 2 wins, 4 top 5s, and 4 starts. Bobby McCarty got a pretty commanding point lead to this point already. I think he's going to be a very high favorite, being that, as Josh really doesn't have a shot for the Drivers' Championship because he missed the race, but Lee Pulliam will probably be his biggest competitor as long as Sam Mayer doesn't, come out of nowhere. So
this is an interesting one because not many people knew who Bobby McCarty was before this year. I knew who Bobby was because I raced against him at South Boston in 2016, but Bobby has been racing at South Boston, I think, for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, for a while.
This is the first year that he's in a full-fledged Nelson Motorsports entry. So Bobby won some races. I think he won a couple of times when I went and raced at South Boston, but I think he's one of those guys who worked on his own stuff, and then now he's got some help from Nelson. So clearly they have their stuff figured out. Not one of us
picked him for the damn late model win at Bristol, so
no,
we're probably not going to get any points now.
But they do have their stuff figured out, and I think he could become dominant in the series if Nelson's stuff continues to be as good as it has been, because he's really put on a show. And speaking of Nelson, real quick, sidetrack from the car store, they had a late model race. They had twin late model races at South Boston this weekend in between the K&N Pro Series races, and Peyton Sellers won the first one, where Philip Morris was also in it, but he had an issue and blew a motor running second, so he went to a backup car, which I think is the car that he still races a good bit. Both cars he's raced numerous times this year. Went to a backup car, drove to second, I believe. Passed.
Did he get new tires?
I don't know. He could have. He passed Brandon Pierce, which is also a Nelson Motorsports car, and he races some Cars Tour stuff, but I don't think he races every week. But he passed Brandon, and Brandon ran him back down and passed him for the win. So that was Brandon's first ever win, but that's still another Nelson Motorsports car going to victory lane. So those guys really have their stuff figured out, so it'll be interesting to see how Bobby does the rest of the year. But for now, he is our number 1 pick on our power rankings.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like there's no argument to not be, for Bobby to not be on top of the list. So that's, that's our power rankings for now. Like I said, we're trying to do supers next week. Supers change a lot. There's not really a consistent group that race in supers, and there's so many different they co-sanction with so many different groups. But we're going to try to do our best on doing some super power rankings next week. But another quick thing I want to talk about before we go to our Q&A session for the Facebook guys is Caraway's up for sale. And that's pretty big news. I mean, they've had the same owners for a while, and Caraway's a nice facility. It's not bad. Have you ever been there or raced there?
I've been there. Haven't raced there.
I raced there twice, and I sucked. I hate the damn. I did not expect the. People think. I mean, it's not very worn out. It's pretty gripped up compared to Hickory or something like that. So I wasn't a big fan of the grip. I didn't have big brakes or a big motor or anything like that. So I feel like needs to be some changes. For whoever comes there, to make it a little bit better, and that's just my opinion. I mean, don't mean nothing, but I'm just saying, like, I think there could be some significant things done that could maybe improve the car count, because they had a really rough time with car counts this year.
I think a couple of things that hurt Caraway. One, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
It is very out in the middle.
I mean,
of nowhere.
it's what, a 3 hour, 3.5 hours?
No, it's not that far. It's only like I think it's like 2 hours from here.
Oh, maybe not. Anyways,
it's not far from like RCR. It's not far from like that area there.
Yeah. Anyways, it is out in the middle of nowhere. There isn't much stuff around it, and the car count hasn't been that good. It's also a track that if you don't take a big motor to, you're already at a disadvantage.
Yeah, you got to have a big motor and a big
long straightaways, tight
set
corners.
Of brakes on there and stuff.
Long straightaways, tight corners. I mean, they usually have good turnout for their big races, but it's been slowly declining.
It's a hellacious modified track.
Yeah.
They race good modifieds there. They beat the bumpers off each other, but it's good.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, right now we really don't know much other than it's up for sale.
Yeah, they said they're going to keep racing this year, but they're going to shrink their schedule down. And if they get it, sold, then I'm sure that. No disrespect to Caraway, but I think the first track needs to be bought to Tri-County because they're not racing at all. So
damn,
look at them. Just beat the hell out of that mic.
Speaking of Tri-County, they're racing a couple more times this year now. The Southeast Super Trucks are now putting on a limited deal, which Dylan Hauser, who I think is still in here, may be able to tell us a little bit more about it. But I believe that
I would love to race it, but they don't allow the enforcer.
Yeah, they're running like 4 or I don't know how many more races, but it's kind of an odd rule package. I think you can only run Pro Shocks.
It's not really that. Yeah, it's a little different, I guess, but it's a true limited series. I mean, nowadays limiteds aren't really limiteds. I mean, they're basically a late model with a little bit of detuned carburetor and cheaper tires. Or you don't have to buy new tires.
They don't even make the 603
went to a true limited
motor.
Deal. They you're not allowed to run an enforcer, which I would have loved last year, but now that I have a enforcer, I don't, I can't do it. If I still had a 604, I would probably have ran the race at Tri-County or Anderson that they had. But Dylan Hauser has been running pretty good in that. I believe he's won a couple. So that's good. But, yeah, hopefully, maybe check that series out if anybody out there that has, a true limited late model that is actually, a 604 crate or a 603 crate or something like that. That could be your series if you're looking for one. If you feel like you're getting out horsepower, maybe you should check it out.
And Tri-County is an awesome place. I mean, we need cars at Tri-County right now. The more attention we can get drawn to the racetrack, the more chance we have.
Show every time.
Yeah, the more chance we have of it getting bought and then something done to it. The Hausers are great for Tri-County. Doug does a lot for them. He does a lot to promote those events that go on out there. And I think Dylan won that last race they had. So.
Yeah, he said, Dylan said any steel body shock. So
okay.
But yeah, like I said, it's just basically a true limited series. It's not like kind of beat around the bush late models. It's it is what it is.
But it's interesting. So I'd like to see that continue to expand. But
also, I'd like to see Caraway sold. So
yeah,
that's at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about. I don't know the price yet. So, what the hell was the price of Tri-County? Was it $500,000?
Yeah.
Which ain't that bad. I mean, it is, but it's not. I mean, for us it is, but like for...
Yeah, an investor, probably not.
But we talk about it every week. It's got to be a race fan. It can't be somebody that's looking to make millions of dollars. It's got to be someone that wants to see the sport grow over time. So it's kind of like investing in a penny stock. At first you ain't going to make shit. It's going to be a long time, but eventually you might grow the sport so much that you get a chance to own something else because you know what you're doing. But
yeah.
Anyway, that's a lot of our... You got something?
Well, I was just going to say... The last couple times, it's just been me and Dylan.
Oh, yeah.
Last episode it was, and this episode, obviously, we do not have a guest. But we do have a couple of people lined up to come on. Anthony Alfredo is going to come on one week, your most recent winner in the K&N Pro Series. Justin Carroll is also going to come on. I just talked to him today. He's interested in coming on and doing a show. He is your most recent winner at Hickory Motor Speedway in late model stock division. Won both twins this past weekend, so that'll be a fun one to have on. We also have an interview with him from the Car Store race that we'll be able to put up on our page probably at some point this week. I think it's fitting to put that interview and Anthony's interview up since they both won this past weekend.
Not to mention, Brandon Setzer's another guy.
But yeah, talk to Brandon Setzer, and he's going to come on and talk a little racing with us, and then we've got a bunch of stuff lined up.
I mean, there's a few more names that I have that is going to – well, Ryan Millington's one. Clay Rogers, I talked to him earlier. We got to get him back on because there's so much more to talk about with him, and he has a lot of good insights. But a guy that I actually texted today that says he's going to come on not next week, but the week after, I believe. I think that's right. Yeah, the week after. Andy Houston. Going to get him on, a former track champion, current spotter for Austin Dillon, has a lot of short track racing experience. So that's a guy that we're going to have on. Him and his son Clark. Come hang out with us for a while, so that would be really cool to have some guys like that. But yeah, we've just kind of we've had so much to talk about lately. We don't want to take light away from the guys that we're talking with. So when we're doing these predictions and all this stuff, we don't want to, and we got all this drama to talk about. We don't want to take away from what they have to offer.
For sure.
So anyway, we're going to end the audio version of the podcast here. So if you've been listening along, thanks for listening. We got to thank all of our sponsors, Fox Outdoor, Carolina Simworks, Dexter's Detailing, Blondie's Restaurant, One Designs Wraps, and Carolina Custom Golf Carts. We'll be back next week, Tuesday at 8:30, as for now. But stay tuned on our Facebook page, our Twitter, and our YouTube, and our Instagram. Everything's at Windshield Deep. So check in with us. Follow on live next week on Facebook if you have any questions or if we're doing anything stupid that you should tell us about. But we'll be here, so it's been fun. We'll holler at you guys next time.
Peace.
Okay, but as for the Facebook people, you know the drill. We always do a little Q&A and kind of hang out and talk a little shit for a while. We've done pretty good with the whole timing deal. We've been ending the actual audio version after an hour. So we kind of try to keep the Q&A for 15, 20 minutes. Anyway, so.
One question. Jason, he asked if there's any updates on the truck diecast from Martinsville, which was the Plan B 83 Chevrolet Silverado from Mittler Brothers. And that truck, it is in production. So there was some issues. The Lionel guy dropped the ball a little bit, and there's a bunch of papers. If you don't know the process, which I'm sure most of you don't, I didn't know the process until obviously I got involved with it. But there's a lot of papers that go back and forth from the team to Lionel, from the Lionel back to the team, and there's a lot of stuff that has to be signed. And Mike Mittler, the owner of the race team that I drove for, he signed everything that was sent to him, and we thought the truck was going to begin production, but the Lionel guy forgot to send one last paper. And so he reached out to us probably about a month ago and said, crap, I forgot this. So he sent that to Mike. Mike signed that, and everything is back on track. So the truck will be made, and it's continuing to be produced as we speak right now. I do have some windshields I have to sign, which they've been holding for me. I haven't been able to sign them for a while because we've had to wait for all this to brush over. But so yeah, stay tuned for that. It's taking a little longer than usual, but it will be here eventually. So
how many are they gonna make?
The minimum order is 500, I believe. So it'll probably be somewhere between 500 and 800, somewhere around there. I don't know exactly what Brent from Plan B has in mind.
So every week we've been doing this Time Machine Race of the Week deal, and I think Chris had just asked about what we were doing for this. Yeah, so this week, since Bristol's coming up for the Cars Tour, how about tapping in the 1986 Tri-City 200 late model sportsman race at Bristol? That I haven't even got to watch it yet, but just thinking of Bristol
when it was asphalt.
Yeah, actual asphalt. The red and white walls, the real deal. Like I said, it's 86. So name your driver. Who knows who all was racing then? I mean, we're not. I don't know if it was the full, if it was a touring series or what. I'm sure some big names were in it.
Sam Ard.
Yeah, Sam Ard was in it. Yeah, we're sitting there watching it right now. Golly, that guy's worn out, ain't he? Yeah, type in the 1986. I'll just copy and paste the title. You can just literally type that in, and you'll be able to look this up.
Oh man, we forgot to talk about the giveaway.
Yeah,
for the nine people that's still in here. So we do have this Robert Yates and Doug Yates signed Roush Yates Engines hat. We're gonna give this away on our Facebook page. It's gonna be your typical giveaway deal. It's gonna be this and this North Wilkesboro Richard Petty Fan Appreciation Tour 164 scale.
View.
Do what?
I'll give them an up close view. Keep doing. But.
And so we're gonna give both of these away as a package deal, and the post is just going to be your typical giveaway post. You're going to have to like the page, Windshield Deep Podcast, on Facebook, and then you're going to have to share the post and tag 2 friends in the comments section. And what we'll do is take all the names, just like we did for my diecast giveaway. We'll take all the names from the shared folder and the people that followed all the instructions, throw you in a randomizer, hit enter one time, and the name that pops up at the very top will receive both this hat and the diecast car. So that's how we'll do it.
Yeah, so that's cool, and I'm sure we'll have some Windshield Deep stickers and stuff by then. So
yeah, my design guy, he's been holding off on me, but we are working on it.
I was like, look, I design shit and print shit off when I get paid for it. I mean, it's a whole lot easier to work when you get paid for it. But yeah, I'm serious. We're really gonna do that. We're gonna have some decals out. But one thing that I want to do really soon is to try to get a hold of some kind of racetrack and see if we can't go be the interview guys and call the race. Bristol would be a perfect opportunity, but we're going to go race ourselves, so we're not going to damper our race and just go interview some other guys racing and be jealous the whole time. So anyway, yeah, that was that'd be fun though. I mean, just think about it. What racetrack should we go to? Chris, why don't you fly us to Illinois and have us come up there and do some stuff?
Will they let us announce Bowman Gray?
That would be epic. I feel like, God dang, going up there and hanging out with Corey Latham a whole day, that would be some good
Corey
stuff.
Told us he was going to get us in a damn street stock or
I know,
stock
never
ride.
heard anything else from him. So I don't guess we're going to race at Bowman Gray now. Nick Payne said, hey, I'm late. Let me submit my picks. Preston in the super late models, Snyder in the late models. That's pretty damn good there. Neither one of us picked Preston, but we definitely were aware of him racing. Y'all hear that phone ringing?
Somebody needs to answer it.
I know it. Nobody. Oh, there we go. Voicemail. Somebody calling a damn. We're right now. We're in New York City, and when you're in New York City like this, it's just hard to. God dang it! Who's calling now?
Nick said Landon lost his announcing license.
Yeah, you can't get in.
Well,
you're never allowed back in.
I'm
gonna call whoever's calling me back.
Tony Stevens told me that he wanted me to come back and do another one, but I told him, well, as long as it's not on Cinco de Mayo, I think I'd be in much better shape. But
I mean, you did good.
It provided some great entertainment. I feel like I did a really good job until it got a little interesting at the end. Yeah. We're trying to get some dang logo or decals made commemorating that race, so hopefully we'll get that done. That way you could slap that on the back of your Ford Bronco or whatever the heck you got.
Yeah, that would be nice. If anybody has a vehicle, it's kind of a junker, and you know that it's not, the appearance is not what that matters on it, let us know, because we'll bring it to One Designs and we'll wrap it in Windshield Deep.
Or we could just we need to start a new segment where you take a picture of your Windshield Deep logo on your car, and we're going to put the best 2 on the broadcast every week once we get some decals made. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if you've seen Landon Castle's Show Car Hall of Fame on Twitter, but if you haven't, just search the hashtag Show Car Hall of Fame and look at some of the stuff that comes up.
Yeah, they're bad.
We're going to do we want to do the same thing, but with the Windshield Deep logo slapped on it. So whatever you can come up with, Whether it's your daily driver that gets you from point A to point B, but she looks like she's going to fall apart when you get there, or it could be something sitting in your backyard that hasn't moved in 20 years.
Or somebody else's shit.
Yeah, if you see a car that looks good, just ask them if you can slap a decal on there.
No, don't tell them that. Just go and do it.
I guess if it looks that bad, then it probably don't matter.
They've never noticed it.
It might make it look better.
Free advertisement.
So yeah.
Yeah, go sticker slap. We'll give some decals away. But if you want to get Robert Yates and Doug Yates signed hat, Roush Yates engine hat actually, but it's autographed by Robert and Doug.
Schmexy.
Yep. And also Richard Petty farewell tour little diecast. What size is this? You're a diecast guy.
That's a 164.
Yeah, a little 164 scale. Richard Petty diecast with Northborough Speedway on it. You can do that as well. Just like, share, and tag 2 friends or whatever you want to do.
Philip said he talked to you about shirts on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. I seen him at the tech shed, and we talked. I need to get some real bad, but like I said, we don't have a very high budget, and shirts aren't cheap.
Our podcast budget is about what our racing budget is.
Mm-hmm. Next to nothing.
Slim to nothing.
So if anybody wants to donate shirts, you can donate. You can go to Hobby Lobby and buy some shirts, and we will take them to a print shop and have them print some shirts out. But anyway, I mean, is what it is. Yeah, so anyway, it's been fun. We're pretty tired. I need to get something to eat.
I've got to go. I got to get up at 4:30 in the morning, so that's fun.
That's per usual.
Yep.
But
we might move the date of the podcast for the summer. We're not sure yet. So
yeah, we might play around with the hours. See what the best time.
Also, there's 12 people in here. Some of you may not give an absolute flying F about what I'm about to say, but you might. And if you do, please tell us, because I think we would enjoy doing some segments about this and posting it on our page. It doesn't necessarily have to be a part of the live broadcast, but we could do a certain segment and post that on our Windshield Deep Facebook page. Me and Dylan here recently have been pretty heavily involved in the game Fortnite on Xbox, and it's a Battle Royale game. We've also played PUBG, and we also play Call of Duty, and PUBG is PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, if you're not familiar with that. So if anybody plays any console games, whether it's NASCAR,
if you guys are involved in gaming, come play with us.
Gaming, period. Yes, please, by all means, let us know, because we could reveal our gamer tags, and we could have some fun. Yeah. Dylan streams on Twitch sometimes, and we need to get
disclaimer. Don't ever look that up, because I say a lot of bad words. Anyway, go ahead.
But we may make a Windshield Deep stream here before long and have some fun with it.
Yeah, it would be I think since Fortnite's kind of the popular thing, let's see who the best Fortnite player in NASCAR is. We already know who the best PUBG player is in NASCAR.
Yeah, definitely Darrell Wallace Jr.
Well, that's fucking debatable.
Who's the other one?
I think I'm up there.
Oh, well, I thought we were talking about
console,
Cup Series.
On console. Okay. Late models all the way to the Cup Series.
Okay.
On console, I feel like I'd make a strong case. I don't know anybody else that's much better on console.
I feel like I don't, because I'm not very good.
Yeah, well, it's all right. I mean, you won the other night. You died with 60 left, and we carried you to the finish. But we won. I've carried you to 2 wins now. You're a 2-time winner.
Only 2 wins I've got.
You're a multiple-time winner. You got a squads win.
Feels great, man. I just have to thank my whole team for carrying my dead body after I died.
So anyway, if anybody, Chris Marshall has PS4. We both have PS4 now, so we can play some. Chris, if you ever want to play some Fortnite or some MLB The Show or anything like that.
Whatever you play. I bought PS4 specifically for MLB The Show, but I do have Fortnite downloaded on it.
Yeah, it's free, so we can always play some games. So just, yeah, man, welcome to the show. Nice to see your first time here. Sorry, it's kind of dragging it on now, but
yeah, we're just
we actually talked about the real stuff at the start. So next time tune in at 8:30, and we'll be able to talk a little bit more about it. You can also watch the video on demand, so that's always nice. If you want to listen to it driving down the road, then get on SoundCloud and look up Windshield Deep. We post every episode on there, so you can listen to it on your phone with no deal. What's my tag? I will send you my gamer tag on. We'll send you a message, I guess. Actually, I don't even know what my PS4 one is.
I don't even know what mine is on PS4.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I'll send it your way. We'll figure it out. We play Xbox mostly, so I do. I don't know. There's not many racing games on Xbox. I mean, NASCAR Heat sucked, to be honest with you. So
yeah, it's not that great.
Hopefully that gets changed for this year, because I'm not a supporter right now.
Anybody wants to play NASCAR 2011 on the Xbox 360?
Hit us up, because we'll spank that ass.
Yeah,
that's our stuff.
You don't even want none. Take me to Bristol, baby.
Yeah, I think. Let's see. We've been live for about an hour 15, hour 18 now. So, Matt, I'm not sure if you just joined, but if not, I hate to, or if you have, then I hate to end it on you, but this is about the time we need to stop, so we can go to bed and get our. I got to work on my car and get some wraps printed tomorrow, and you've got some work and school and also or work at least. So
yeah, I got to run some errands in Mooresville tomorrow after I get off work.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, if you want to watch this on demand, you just go on Facebook or YouTube and you can watch the full video on demand. Or you can go to SoundCloud and listen to the audio only, which is every social media handle / podcast handle is always at Windshield Deep. No underscores, no numbers, nothing. All one word, Windshield Deep, just like you see right here below me. Let's see here, right here. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, SoundCloud. Eventually going to be on Twitch and also Instagram. So, yeah, follow us on all those things. Stay tuned. Watch on YouTube and Facebook, or you can listen on SoundCloud. So let's. So
right after we're finished here, make sure you stay tuned to the Facebook page. You can share this, tag your 2 friends. That way we can get this out to somebody.
So stop collecting dust. We want to give it away so someone can cherish it.
Put it in a case.
The late Robert Yates, Hall of Fame inductee, and Mr. Doug Yates both autographed this.
And they have some pretty badass autographs, I will have to say.
Robert's got a real clean-looking autograph.
Both of them look really good.
Yep. Yeah, we'll give you a nice close look here. Got Robert, Doug, the whole deal. So
I look good beside a Ford diecast.
Yeah, like it and share it. Look real good.
Good old Davey Allison diecast. That'd be cool.
Look real good if you're a Ford fan. So anyway,
all right, guys.
We'll see you guys later. We've had fun tonight. Like I said, check out all these deals here below me. Watch the video on demand. Listen to the audio. Follow us. It's been real. It's been fun. It ain't been real fun. Live every day like it's Saturday. This is the voice of Grassroots Racing. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.